If you've been searching for Pennsylvania debt relief options run by the state, I have to tell you something important. They don't exist. That gap has led to a lot of confusion, but here's the good news. There are real Pennsylvania debt relief options that work, and one Pennsylvania law that protects you from the worst collector abuses. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what they are and how to protect yourself. Hi, I'm Rob, a financial coach with over 20 years of experience helping people navigate debt, credit, and repayment options. I know how confusing debt can feel, especially with so many misleading ads and unclear promises online. My goal is to break down what's legitimate, what to avoid, and how Pennsylvania debt relief actually works so you can make informed decisions with confidence. So I'm going to show you the 4 real debt relief options available in Pennsylvania, the #1 red flag that most people miss, and the Pennsylvania law that most collectors hope you never learn about. So let's start with the biggest myth. Look, there's no such thing as a Pennsylvania state debt relief program. I know, people are shocked when I tell them this, but that myth is costing Pennsylvanians thousands. Every week someone asks me, Rob, where do I sign up for the state program? And I have to explain, Pennsylvania does not have a state-run program that pays off or reduces your credit card debt, medical bills, or personal loans. It simply doesn't exist. Now, Pennsylvania does have programs that help free up money in your budget. LIHEAP helps with heating bills, SNAP and WIC help with groceries, and HEMAP provides emergency loans to homeowners facing foreclosure. Now, these programs can give you some breathing room, but none of them directly wipe out your debt. So if anyone tells you there's a special Pennsylvania debt forgiveness program, that's your first red flag and probably a scam. The real options come from the private sector. Only 2 Pennsylvania debt relief options actually reduce what you owe. The other 2 just reorganize it. So I'm going to rank all 4 from least powerful to most powerful. Option 1, debt management plan. You work with a nonprofit credit counseling agency who negotiates lower interest rates. You won't owe less, but you get 1 monthly payment and you might pay less interest over time. Option 2, debt consolidation. You combine multiple debts into one single loan, ideally at a lower interest rate. You'll need decent credit to qualify, and you'll have to stop using those cards afterward, or you'll just end up in deeper debt. Option 3, debt settlement. Now, this is one that actually reduces what you owe. Let's say you're a teacher in Pittsburgh with $28,000 in credit card debt after a divorce. You tried consolidation, but couldn't qualify. With debt settlement, you negotiate with creditors. That $28,000 could become $14,500 over about 2 years before fees. Now, it certainly affects your credit during the program, but for many people, it's the path that actually works. And option number 4 is bankruptcy. Now, Chapter 7 bankruptcy can wipe out unsecured debts entirely if you qualify, while Chapter 13 sets up a repayment plan. It's a bigger decision with lasting effects, but for some situations, it's the smartest move you can make. If a Pennsylvania debt relief company asks for money up front, that's a major red flag. And that's not my opinion, it's actually illegal. The FTC prohibits debt relief companies from charging fees before they've settled or reduced your debt. Here are a few more red flags to watch out for. They guarantee results. We'll cut your debt in half, guaranteed. Look, no legitimate company can promise that because creditors don't have to agree to a settlement. They also may contact you unsolicited with pressure to sign up immediately. Reputable companies don't operate that way. I've seen people hand over hundreds of dollars to companies that literally disappeared overnight. And it's heartbreaking because these people are already struggling. If something feels off, trust your gut. Report it to the FTC at reportfraud.ftc.gov. And Pennsylvania launched the Consumer Protection Hotline this past May. Call 1-866-722-6675 or visit pa.gov/consumer. Use these resources. They exist because the problem is real. In Pennsylvania, credit card debt has a 4-year statute of limitations, and most creditors are counting on you not knowing that. If a creditor hasn't sued you within 4 years of your last missed payment, they generally lose the legal right to take you to court. The debt doesn't disappear from your credit report, but their right to sue you does. Pennsylvania law also limits how collectors can contact you. No calls before 8 a.m. or after 9 p.m., no more than 7 calls in a 7-day period, and no threats, obscene language, or harassment. Plus, if you tell them to stop calling, they have to stop. So if you're being harassed, document everything. Dates, times, and what was said. That's your leverage. And if you're worried about a lawsuit, that's exactly when to explore Pennsylvania debt relief options before things escalate. So look, even though Pennsylvania doesn't have a state-run debt relief program, you're not stuck. Debt consolidation, debt settlement, debt management plans, and bankruptcy are all legitimate paths forward. Work with reputable companies, know your rights, and remember, you have more control than you think. Now, if this helped, hit subscribe and tap the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. And if you're ready to talk about your specific situation, head over to freedomdebtrelief.com for a free evaluation. No pressure, just real answers.